Welcome back. In this video I do my last big pour and it got really interesting. And I also do some machining which had its difficulties but I overcame them. Then I assembled everything. I had my audience in attendance, I had the wood ready, I had all the aluminium ready. It was going to be a relaxing day. But after being used 8 times, my crucible had had enough. Surely a self-tapping screw would work, right? It looked like it was leaking, so I decided to build another crucible as quick as I could. I'd let the fire go down too much, so the transfer didn't go too well. Just hot enough this time. This was my biggest pour, so I needed all the capacity this new crucible had. Here it goes. Well, that was the pour for the thrust washers, which take the balls in a groove, and the clamps behind them. And it was supposed to be pretty boring and pretty relaxing pour, 10 pounds maybe. Then went for the pour and crossed my fingers. As far as pours go, it went really well. I'll have to look at the video, but I don't even remember hardly any flame on this one. That's the good thing about using a used can. Half the flame coming off you'll see in those earlier videos is just the paint burning off a new can. Fingers crossed that it went really well.
Look at that sprue, guys. You don't need green sand. That turned out so well considering.
It was just on the CAD drawing this morning. It was just an idea. I'm now going to part off all these rings. I'm a little bit concerned for 2 reasons. First one being this parting tool and tip. Well, the tip is not suited for aluminium necessarily, so I'll try very slowly, see how it goes. And of course that's the other thing. It's so long out of the chuck. It'll be prone to vibration, so nothing's going to happen very fast. But I think setting up the center may be necessary. Oh, that's the other thing. I probably should do the boring first.
This ring gets a split in it, so I might put it right through there. This is the biggest clamp ring, which goes just above the thrust bearing.
Well, you can see something doesn't look right there, right? The second go, probably about halfway through, the inevitable probably happened. It built up on the cutter there and jammed basically, which stopped the lathe. Fortunately it's got a belt drive and it slipped, but everything jumped up in the air. I'm going to have to think of another plan now. I don't think we've done any serious damage. As I expected, it gave me a bit of a fright when it happened. I think I'm going to have to set it up with the 4-jaw, and I probably should have in the first place. You get so much better grip with the 4-jaw. You normally need a greenstone grinding stone to grind tungsten apparently. I ground it using my tile cutting diamond wheel. This is not the normal way to part something off, but it's jammed on me twice so far in this second cut, not once in the first one, so it's weird. And this time it really damaged my parting tool, so it leaves me no resort. Where there's a will, there's a way. And that's what happens when it jams up. It gets a bit of a mess in there. I think I might just part in no more than half. First part seems to go okay. And then use the saber saw for the rest for all of them. There's always another way. This seems to work. I think it might even be faster than parting. It's certainly a lot safer. Of course, the cross slide has to stay in the same position for all the grooves, including on the washers. I'm about to knock off for the day, and as a test, as well as I can't wait to see what it runs like. It's just got 4 balls in there, but I just had to make some adjustments. So I want to check that everything's in line. And look at that. Once again, you could put a lot of load on that and it's still going to be very low friction. I may just deepen the grooves a bit. I'm turning the lathe into a milling machine. I hope it works. Hold the top of the head of the sail up. You can see there the porosity. And this is the worst ring, so I thought I'd practice and see if this system worked on this ring. I just have to be very careful running that big drill, and I'm using it as an end mill, so it's a big ask from it. Just have to be very gentle with it. The first one is done. It just has to be tapped. The tapping hole is in there already, and the cap screw is intended to slide in there. This goes near the top of the mast, and it's a clamp to hold the top of the head of the sail up. I've had some cap screws sitting around for some decades and finally thought I had a use for them. I've decided I need the thread all the way up, otherwise I lose a bit too much thread in the aluminium. I've temporarily assembled them, not with all the balls, not with all the rollers. That takes quite a bit of time. I have to put the balls in with a dab of grease. I have heard of people putting bearings together like this, tomato sauce on the rollers or the balls, and then washing it out afterwards. I may do the same with the grease and wash it out with WD-40 or something, but they're close to being finished. I have to machine down the pins on this a bit in diameter and shorten them. I have to work with what the tabernacle thicknesses are. This one's pretty much finished, except I have to possibly trim up these cheek sides a little bit, drill holes, make up pins with split pins, and make up the sheaves that'll go in there out of Delron or acetal. So we're getting there. The mast is not the full length yet. I have to add on to the mast another 3 meters. I'll probably be using 3mm wall thickness, 100 millimeters OD, T5, which is a bit lower strength than this T6, but it doesn't need it to be strong, of course. Up near the top of the mast, I'll do a calculation where I can make the joins. I can try and save a little bit of weight. After so many months of thinking about these bearings and how I was going to do them. Will you ducks be quiet? They're the neighbours' ducks. They walk hundreds of meters to hang around my shed. The neighbour feeds them in the morning and the night, and they walk that far. They don't fly. I don't mind having them around. They're really funny, actually. They're fun to watch, and I do give them a bit of water to play around with, and maybe that's the attraction. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. The next video is likely to be, I'm going to try and finish off some stainless steel work, which is probably a good thing to do before I start the fairing on the boat or the rudder. Time is running out before I get to Christmas. I'm just already 2 or 3 days over what I was going to spend on the mast. Once again, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We'll see you next week.